We are going to start this workout out with some nice, easy jogging in place for 1 minute. Make sure that as you're jogging, you're nice and soft on your toes. Keep your elbows and hands pumping as you drive your knees up. You don't have to do full out high knees here. Just nice, easy jogging in place will do. Trying to get your heart rate up, get your blood flowing, get you ready for this workout. So just keep with it. Got a few more seconds of jogging in place, and then we're going to transition into our next exercise. A few more seconds, keep going. You're almost there. And get ready for the transition into jumping jacks. Again, we're going to take these jumping jacks for 1 minute. Make sure that you're soft on your feet. You might have neighbors that live below you, so they'll appreciate it if you're light on your feet when you do these. Make sure that you keep breathing. Trying to get your heart rate up in a nice, controlled manner. Make sure that your range of motion on this is right in line with where you're comfortable at. You don't have to have your hands touch up top. Just get those shoulders moving as well as you hop from rep to rep. Got about 15 more seconds here. Just a few more reps. And we're going to transition into mountain climbers. So as you're doing these mountain climbers, you can step your foot up towards your hands, or you can even transition to more of a bouncing motion where you're really carrying one rep into the next. It's a little bit easier to step, but if you're ready for a little bit more of a challenge, you can go ahead and take more of a rhythmic approach to doing mountain climbers. And as you're going through these mountain climbers, it's easy to find your butt starting to drift up into the air. That makes it a little bit easier to do. So it's all right if you want to do that getting started. But if you can, try to keep yourself nice and flat as you're driving. So we'll show you what some of these reps look like with the butt elevated a little bit. And same thing, you can even step one to the next instead of really trying that rhythmic pace as you go through it. Makes it just a little bit easier if you're not quite ready for that level of difficulty. Now we're going to go ahead and transition into some mobility work. First up, we have our sciatic nerve glide. We're going to do 10 reps with each leg. As you're going from one rep to the next, you're going to keep your foot relaxed as you flex that quad to straighten your leg out. You'll already start to feel a little bit of a stretch in your hamstring as you're doing this, and then when you start to curl your toes towards your face at the very top of the movement, that's really going to add an even deeper stretch into it and get that sciatic nerve moving. So a lot of us, if we're stuck in our apartments, are going to be experiencing a lot more sitting than we normally do, and so it's good to do these different types of mobility exercises to really get your body ready for all the great exercises to come. I know a lot of us have been working hard in the gym and we're going to miss it for a little while, but that being said, there are things we can do to keep our bodies primed, stay healthy, stay active, and keep just a little bit of our sanity in check. And again, we're going to be doing 10 reps on each leg. And really feel these out. You can go at your own pace. You don't necessarily have to follow Katie's exact pace here, so you can pause the video if you'd like, or if you've gone ahead, you can let Katie catch up to you before we go into the next movement. But 10 reps on each leg. This is one of my personal favorite movements, and I do it before every single workout. And man, my legs have felt way better as a result. I was starting to have some pretty bad sciatic nerve pain, and you'd even feel that like in the bottom of your foot. But the more that you do these, the less that pain seems to flare up. So just a good one to add to your routine in general. And now we're going to get ready to transition into a lumbar twist. So a few important tips with this lumbar twist. You're going to take your foot, so one of your knees is going to be on the ground, and the same foot as the knee is on the ground will be hooked behind your calf. So it's kind of helping you stay in place there. And as you open up, it's going to be really tempting for that knee to want to pop off of the ground and to really over-exaggerate your range of motion. That would happen, but really try to stay disciplined to keep that knee down and really get a good deep stretch in your lumbar spine. And you might also feel a little bit of the musculature around your hip loosening up as well. And so as you're opening up with that arm, you're going to let your eyes follow the arm and follow your hand. It might go all the way to the ground. It might just come up to perpendicular with the floor, or maybe fall somewhere in between. But again, do this at your own comfort level. We're going to aim to hit 10 reps on each side. And so see Katie forgot to put the foot up. Yeah, there she goes. So again, put that foot behind your calf. And feel the stretch as you open up on each side. You might feel a nice pop in your back. It's always a relief when you get that good crack in there. Your body should be nice and warm from those warm-ups that we just did before. We have a few more mobility drills to get into before starting the workout itself. But by the end of this workout, though, you should be feeling pretty good, pretty accomplished. Alright, next up we're going to be working on some ankle mobility. And because we're doing a lot of leg work today, this ankle mobility is going to come in handy. So as you're pushing forward, you're really going to be feeling some tension and stretch in your Achilles tendon and in the back of your foot. Make sure that you keep that entire foot flat on the ground. As you lean forward, a lot of people, their heel will start to come up. But what you want to make sure that you do is you keep that heel flat on the ground. And you're going to have about 80 to 85% tension as you're leaning into it and holding it for about a second and a half before returning. So you really want to have movement in that ankle joint as you're going from rep to rep. And again, we're going to want to do about 10 of these on each leg. You can do a few more if you'd like, though. So keep that entire foot flat on the ground as you work from one rep to the next. If you've had sprained ankles in the past and have never done anything rehab-wise to get it better, you'll be thanking yourself for doing this. Just breathe through it. We're about to get ready to work on some upper body mobility drills before we get ready. Before we get ready for the full workout. Now we've got a 3-way brachialis stretch. So the first direction that we're going, it's going to be 7 reps each direction. It's just nice and flat. So think of this as your middle position. You're going to go middle, high, and low each way. And so think of your arm like a Indiana Jones's whip, just uncoiling. So be nice and fluid with it, and really feel that stretch across your chest and shoulder, that whole brachialis region. This one feels really good. Actually, all these feel pretty good. Let's be honest. Now we're going to move to the lower position. So going from middle to lower, doing 7 reps each way with this lower position, holding it for about a second and a half, each time that you pull it back. You're just opening that brachialis area up. So a lot of people, if you're hunched over a keyboard typing, there's a lot of things that we do in day-to-day life that cause our shoulders to roll forward, and we can wind up with a tight brachialis as a result. Doing things like this consistently throughout the day, you don't have to do this before a workout. You can just do this whenever you want. It's going to help loosen that whole region up. Now we're going to that higher position, and you'll feel a little bit differently each way. But just focus on the sensations, really stretch your way through it, and over time you'll start to develop more range of motion, and if you're dealing with tightness in that area, it'll start to loosen up. 7 each way. We're going to move it over to the other side, starting out at that middle position. 7 good reps. Really focus on being fluid with that arm. Again, imagine Indiana Jones's whip just uncoiling. That's your arm. And then once it's fully uncoiled, feel that stretch. Now we're going to move it to lower. Right in this warm-up, you should be feeling pretty graceful. So much fluid motion. Now we're going to shift back to that high position. So nice, smooth unwind. Feel that stretch at the top as you return back on each rep. And after your last rep, we're going to go ahead and return to the floor to do some snow angels. So growing up in Louisiana, this is not something I got to do as a kid, but Katie grew up in Washington, so I'm sure she made plenty of these. But with snow angels, you're going to try to keep your shoulders on the floor, back on the floor, elbows on the floor if you can, and everybody's range of motion is going to be different, so it's going to look a little bit different for everybody. And what you're really doing is you're working on getting that scapula, your lower and middle traps, all those different muscles along your upper back, nice and loose, getting the blood flowing to them, feeling some range of motion, really taking advantage of that residual warmth that we have from the other mobility exercises and the warming up that we just did. We will be doing a little bit of upper body work, so it's good to get your upper body warmed up. Now we have trunk twist. It's a good old crowd favorite right here. So really make sure that as you're twisting, that you're emphasizing that twist like you have a target that's straight behind you and you're really trying to whack it with your elbows each way. Sometimes I like to say, imagine that there's imaginary ninjas sneaking up behind you and you have to pop them with your elbows. You're really going to put your whole body into it. You don't want to get ninja attacked. So really go for it. Defeat the ninjas. And leg swings. So you might want to get something a little bit more stable. We had to do some clever editing because this chair tended to slide a bit. But with the leg swings, you're just opening up those hips. Again, getting loose. And a little bit of ballistic movement in before we get ready for the actual workout to start. You're going to do about 10 swings each way. Just getting nice and loose. Switch it up to the other side. Nice 10 swings here. If there's other people in your house or you have kids around, make sure that they're away and you don't accidentally send them into the moon with a leg swing kick. After these leg swings, we're starting the workout. So first up is pitcher squats, going 15 seconds each leg. So you're going to want that crease of your ankle on your foot that's on a chair, on a couch, an ottoman, whatever you want to put your foot on, that's going to be the pivot point, because you don't want to put your foot too far back, because then your shin will be sitting on it. It is okay for your knee to track out towards your toes or even in front of them. Just focus on having tension throughout all the muscles in your thigh. These will burn, be warned. If you can, try to keep your body upright. Then you're going to move into goblet squats. So you can really grab anything for this. It could be a box of cat litter, it could be a pillow, it could be a sandbag, it could be dumbbells. What you're going to have is that weight, some kind of resistance in front of you. You don't have to have weight, but it's going to be in a high position. We're doing these for 30 seconds. Going through this for 3 full rounds. After the goblet squats, we're going to transition to diamond push-ups. So your hands are close together. You can take your thumbs and index fingers and even literally form a diamond. This is putting your triceps to work. "30 seconds here. These are tough. If you need to take that stance out wider or even drop down to a knee, that's perfectly okay. We're looking for quality reps here. As we're going through this 3 times, there's no need to overdo it. Really make sure that you're finding your balance on these pitcher squats. You don't have to rush them. We got 15 seconds on each side. And heading back to the goblet squats. It's very normal for your legs to be burning. Unfortunately, because we're going for time, again, there's not a specific amount of reps that you have to hit. Just push yourself to your limit. Breathe your way through these. We're going to transition back into diamond push-ups again. It's probably going to be harder the second time. If you knew how many reps you did the first set, see if you can do it again, but if not, try to get close. Again, if you have to drop a knee down, it's perfectly okay. And you can even take your hands out a little bit wider and just have it to where your elbows are grazing your side and do more of a close stance push-up. You can do that one from the knees as well. 30 seconds is up. We're going to go ahead and transition back into pitcher squats. 15 seconds on each leg. Workout is designed to be tough. A lot of people who are doing this are used to going in gyms and having all kinds of different equipment on hand. But if all you've got is an apartment, a living room, a couch, just some basic things around you, you can still be creative and give yourself a challenging workout. That's what we aim to give you today. So going back in these goblet squats for 30 seconds. This is our last go through this superset. And you can even pause the video, give yourself just a second to recover before we go into our next superset. But by now you already should have a pretty good inclination that you're getting a good workout in today. So keep pushing through it. You're almost done with these. And let's move into our last set of diamond push-ups. So really focus on quality reps. If you can only get 3 or 4 quality reps in these 30 seconds, that's fine. I want quality over quantity. That's why we're looking at time and we're not forcing reps here. Just give me your best effort for these last few seconds. And 3, 2, 1, done. All right, now we are moving on into glute bridges. So as you're pushing through your heels and through the middle part of your foot, try to make sure that your toes aren't really coming up. Keep your whole foot on the floor as you drive up. You find that your knees start to cave in a little bit. Try to focus on keeping them opened up and really feel it in your glutes and then your hamstrings. Breathe your way through. We're almost done here. All right, now we're going to transition into resisted RDLs, or straight leg deadlifts. You can do these single leg for 15 seconds each side, or you can do these with both legs. Try to keep your back flat as you go through. And if you're doing the single leg variety, really try to keep your thighs pinched together, hips squared forward. It's tempting to want to open up to try to get more range of motion with that back foot, but if you really want to target that glute medius, keep them pinched together. You really want to focus on quality of movement as you're going from rep to rep. And keeping those hips square, feel the tension. You'll almost initiate the movement with your back more than you do your legs. And we're going to move on and do an anything curl. So 15 seconds each arm. If you're curling one heavy object, it's just 30 seconds with both arms at the same time. So I mean, you could curl a milk jug, you could curl a suitcase, a box of cat litter, a small child, there's whatever you can pick up and curl. Yeah, 30 seconds total. If you're doing single arm, 15 seconds each side. Try not to swing whatever you're curling. Keep it nice and controlled. Lengthen and contract the bicep. And now we're going to go ahead and transition into side-to-side lunges. So if you like the weight of whatever you had, you can keep that in your hands. And you're going to take 15 seconds for each side. You can even step the foot that you're lunging with slightly in front of your back foot. As we're switching sides, really fight to get a little bit more range of motion each time you come down. It will get challenging after a while. But now we're going to go ahead and switch into quad focus lunges. So really just think about taking a baby step, because we usually take big steps when we do standard lunges. With these, it's a much smaller step, and you're kind of pushing through your toes and midfoot to come back up, keeping your torso very upright, and you should feel this focused in your quad as you're alternating each leg with each lunge. As you get tired, it's going to be tempting to try to take those bigger steps, but you really want to keep them short and choppy here. All right, now we're going to go down to the floor and do suitcase crunches for 30 seconds. If you have a hard floor and need something to support your back with, you just put a pillow down, you could roll up a shirt, all kinds of stuff just to give your spine a little bit more comfort. For these suitcase crunches though, you're extending your legs out and your torso back, and then you bring your knees to your elbows and your elbows to your knees at the same time. These can be pretty challenging. If it's too much for you, just put your feet down on the ground and do regular crunches. And now we're going to be moving over to heel taps. So you're going to tense like you're doing a crunch, hold that top position, and then rock side to side, keeping your body nice and controlled as you tap each heel. If you're having a lot of difficulty and a lot of burning in your abs, you can even relax your upper body and just slide back and forth on the ground. That'll take some of the tension out, but still allow you to get some activation in your obliques. Alright, and now from here, you can move right back into those glute bridges. 30 seconds, drive them up. Really concentrating on having that flat foot feeling on the floor, so you're driving through the whole of your foot. You don't want to just focus on your heels and have your toes lift up. Really drive through that full foot. Think about keeping your knees pushed out. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you have a resistance band. You can even loop that around your knees and really have to have that extra action to keep them open, because that band will be trying to close them shut. We're going to go ahead and pop back up now and move back into those resisted RDLs. So again, you're going to want to think about the action almost starting with your back, not so much kicking your foot back. So if you kick your foot back, you're going to be tempted to really unsquare and open up that hip, and it's going to take the tension out from where we want it, which is right in that glute medius area. So really think about having your knees brushed together and really focus on keeping those hips squared up if you're doing the single leg variety. If you're doing two legs, just really think about having that back flat, feel the tension as you go down, and then squeeze your glutes and tense your hamstrings as you bring your body back to that upright position between each rep. But we're about done here, so go ahead and grab whatever you're using for the anything curl. We'll get started back on that again. So 15 seconds on each arm if you're going to alternate, or 30 seconds in total. If you have two objects, you can even just do alternating reps for 30 seconds. Lots of different ways we can approach this here. Really focus on quality reps, quality contractions as you're going through these 30-second circuits. Now we're going to go ahead and transition again back into those side-to-side lunges. You can drop that weight down or keep it in your hands. We're taking nice big steps and drive up through that foot that you're leading with. It's almost like you're balanced at the top of the movement and ready just to fall back into that next one. Really try to get a nice tempo going here. Soft landing on that step, and then good powerful push to bring you back to that fully upright position. And our 30 seconds are done, so we're going to move back into those quad focus lunges. And by now these should definitely be burning. Weight, no weight, it's all your call. But just make sure that you're really fighting to keep those steps choppy, alternating legs each time. Just fight through it. It's almost time to go back down to the floor for abs. 3, 2, 1, and down. Now we're back on these suitcase crunches. 30 seconds. Again, really focus on having quality with each rep. If you're feeling it too much, just drop those feet down, do regular crunches. But if you can, fight your way through it. Keep going. It's worth it in the end. All right, and down. Get ready for those heel taps. So tense back up and start reaching side to side. 30 seconds. You may be thinking to yourself, thankfully these are not suitcase crunches, because I do not think I could do those for a minute. I don't think there's a lot of people who could at all. But just breathe your way through these heel taps. Be thankful that they're not quite as intense as what you just did. And we're going to move right back in those glute bridges. So again, driving through that flat foot. You may even want to pause for just a half second each time at the top of these reps. And really feel a quality contraction. can even add a small weight. Just put it in your pelvic region. You might need to use your hands to support it though. But we're going to go ahead and switch back into those resisted RDLs. And I really can't emphasize enough the cue that you want to try to keep your hips squared by almost thinking about sliding your thighs together as you go through this. And it'll probably abbreviate your range of motion if you're used to taking those big open hip leg swings back. But again, we're looking for quality and keeping that movement focused where it is. So if you're doing single legs, go ahead and switch sides for our last 15 seconds here. We are getting close to the full workout. This is our last superset here. So just give me quality all the way through the end. It's curl anything time. Again, you can go one arm 15 seconds, the other arm 15 seconds. You can alternate arms if you have two objects of your choosing, or you can grab something with both hands and just curl it for 30 seconds. We're loading some nice tension onto the biceps. Good quality reps every single time. All right, now we're going to move back into side-to-side lunges. 15 seconds each leg. By now you should have a really good rhythm. You should be kind of tired because this is a challenging workout. You can really push yourself in it. Switch legs. Just a few more seconds. Get some good reps in. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to transition again into quad focused lunges. So little choppy lunges, tiny steps. Keeping focused on having your torso upright and really driving through that toe and midfoot of the foot that you're stepping out with to bring yourself back up in between each alternating rep. It's our last one here. Your legs are on fire. They're about to have done their job and get a good rest at the end of the workout. Couple more seconds, and we're going down to the floor for suitcase crunches. Last 30 seconds of these. So give it all you got. You can exhale as you're coming up. Really tense those abs. It's our last chance to get that quality work in for this workout. So give it what you got. And we're going to go ahead and transition into those heel taps. So keep tensed up. Then reach for those heels. We've got these for 30 seconds. It's the last 30 seconds of the workout. Give it all you got. About halfway through. Just keep fighting it. Be proud of what you're doing. You're getting a very quality workout in at home. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and done.